छोटी वायर दूंगा तुरंत आ जाएगी।
क्या नहीं होगा।
अरे उनसे आउट ले रहा हूँ उसको, मेरी बात सुनो।
तो बस तू आगे रही हो ना, कहीं
तीसरे टूर्नामेंट में जाने के
कहाँ
नहीं, ये यहाँ से हटाना, तो यहाँ से हटाना।
2:15 हो गए यार।
इसके लिए
5 का टाइम नहीं है। 2:30
बंद कर
मना
दे,
ही
अगर
करना
इससे
पड़ेगा।
इंक्लूड
2:30
होता तो
दो
हमारा
बज
आ
गए,
जाता। ये
15
इनका
मिनट्स में
ये
वापस आ
सपोर्ट
जाएंगे।
नहीं कर पा रहा डायरेक्ट।
दो दो बंदे करके भेज देंगे अभी कर देंगे।
चल एक काम करते हैं, स्पॉट करते हैं,
केबल
2-2
छोटी
करके
अगर
फटाफट
चाहिए तो
सुन
छोटी केबल से अभी आ जाएगा।
तो 2-2 करके सुन ना,
जी
अपनी टीम में से 2-2 करके भेज।
जो जो फ्री हो गया कराओ।
कैमरा में कौन, कैमरा वालों को भेज।
क्या हुआ?
सिर्फ 2-2 करके ही भेज पाऊंगा मैं।
आप जिनको भेज दो उनको तो भेज दो, एक दो जिसको
अच्छा तुम दोनों जाओ,
जिसको ज्यादा भूख लगी उससे जल्दी भेज दो।
एक छोटी केबल
हाँ।
शेयर करना है इसे, कहाँ क्या किसे करना है बताओ, जो तीन चीज सर्च करो।
सुनो सुनो सुनो, स्प्लिटर है वहाँ पे, स्प्लिटर लगाओ, उससे डिवाइड करो, वहाँ पे चल जाए। हम तो भैया 50,000
प्रतीक जी ना?
हाँ खुल गया।
बोलो भेज दो। यूट्यूब का है ना लिंक?
हाँ हाँ
जो लाइव जा रहा है।
हाँ हाँ।
नहीं सुनो, तुम कैमरे में
नहीं सर,
जाना लंच कर।
मेरे में तो चार बच्चे यार, अलग
तो
अलग
फिर
जगहों
तू
में
जाओ,
भेज दिया
एक
हमने।
जन।
अरे नहीं नहीं,
तुमने गलत भेज दिया किसी को।
किसको भेजा ये?
आप
इसको स्पेस दे दोगे ना तो क्लिकेबल बन जाएगा ये लिंक।
नहीं, आपने नंबर सेव नहीं किया हुआ शायद इसलिए।
नहीं नहीं, ये वाला जो लिंक है ना,
हाँ हाँ,
आपने जो
ये
भेजा है
क्लिकबल
देखो।
क्लिकबल है, आपने नंबर सेव नहीं किया, बस इसलिए क्लिक नहीं हो रहा हो। आपको यूट्यूब का मिल गया ना?
मिला क्या?
यूट्यूब का मिल गया, फेसबुक का दे
सुनना, यूट्यूब का थंबनेल क्या करना है?
थंबनेल ये वाली पिक्चर जो आपने को भेजी
हाँ
थी
वो
ये
है सामने कैंडिडेट है ना उसका। क्या दे रहे हैं
ठीक है, फेसबुक भी आ गया सर।
उसको? 1080 है, 1080 कितना?
ठीक है, इसका थंबनेल करना है ना, चलिए। नेट स्लो है काफी।
एक बार ना यूट्यूब पे ये चेक करियो, ऑडियो सही जा रहा है ना हमारा, जो इनपुट आ रहा है वो लेवल
हाँ मैं चेक कर।
अपने में चेक। तूने मुझे लिंक भेजा है?
हाँ आपको भी भेजा। आपके पास फेसबुक का है, यूट्यूब का भी मैं भेज देता हूँ।
ये क्यों आ रहा है भाई? फेसबुक लॉगिन टू फेसबुक।
हाँ लॉगिन करने में ना, ना ना लॉगिन की जरूरत नहीं होती है
नहीं
इसके लिए।
जरूरत। हाँ
कौन गया है? ठीक है मैं चेक करता
लॉगिन की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए जनरली इसमें।
कितना? 12 से डालना दे रखा है, 12 से।
हूँ। एक सेकंड कॉल करना।
और जल्दी आना चाहिए प्लीज। ग्रेविटी
हाँ
कम।
नेट काफ़ी स्लो है।
कहाँ भाई? हेलो कहाँ भाई? ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, देखना कैसे।
अरे देख, नहीं दिखेंगे।
मन को बिगड़ जाएगा ना। मैं क्या हो गया? नेट काँप रहा है सर आपका। बहुत स्लो चल रहा है।
लाइव तो नाम का है फिर ये।
बहुत स्लो है बहुत।
अरे उसे क्या ऑलरेडी बोल के गया
तो बोल के गए थे स्लो।
कि 10 MB
डीपीएस से ज़्यादा मिल जाएगी।
पाँच नंबर
तो बात करो भाई, बोल बोल, बस बस हुआ भाई, इसका कुछ मतलब नेट स्लो है, इसका कुछ करो।
हेलो सर, ये इवेंट टीम से बोल रहा हूँ। तो अभी आपने इंटरनेट कनेक्शन दिया था हमारे सिस्टम में।
जयगंडा मुझे
ये बहुत स्लो है, ऐसे तो लाइव प्रॉपर नहीं हो पाएगा, आप कुछ करवाइए। क्या 10 Mbps आप कह रहे हो, बट यहाँ तो
10 भी उससे भी
10
कहाँ
लग
होगा।
ही नहीं रहा। कुछ हो नहीं सकता क्या, थोड़ा इंक्रीजमेंट? क्या
क्या
25 पे है सर? सर आपने 7 पे कुछ बोला था, वो 25 ऑलरेडी वो लोड पे ही है ना। सर और मैं जो चेक कर रहा हूँ 10 Mbps हमें नहीं मिल रहा है, इवन
6
6.885 मेरे एक सिस्टम पे है सिर्फ। नहीं नहीं नहीं, अपलोड का नहीं, अपलोड
दोनों कम है, अपलोड तो और कम है।
रुक जाओ, अपलोड फाइनल बताता हूँ। 5 5 समथिंग आ रहा है।
बहुत स्लो है।
सर कुछ करवा, आ जाओ आ जाओ आ जाओ।
चेक हेलो चेक
मगर स्पीड कितनी चाहिए फिर?
कितनी भी चाहिए वो करते
तो 10 तो चाहिए, तो फिर अलग हिसाब है, वैसे भी कर सकते हैं। नहीं नहीं, उसके लिए ना सर्वर खरीदना पड़ता है, उसमें फिर सारे सारे एक साथ
उधर से बहुत लंबा कितना आ रहा है
लंच करना देखो नहीं मैडम।
अटक रहा है। फेसबुक एक दिन का आपके पास प्रोफाइल है?
यार
रो
इसमें
रहा है,
लिंक वगैरह।
रो ही रहा है। वॉल्यूम कम है, वॉल्यूम बढ़ाना है, वॉल्यूम बढ़ा दो
लाइव
जो जा रहा है, वही माइक म्यूजिक। इसकी स्पीड कम करनी चाहिए। हेलो हेलो जी सर। उसकी वो भी रेड प्राइम लेंसेज की फिट होगी और मॉनिटर चलो करवा देंगे सर, मॉनिटर करवा देंगे 15 वो अलग से। लोकेशन क्या है? वही 500 समथिंग होगा, 500 to 700। हाँ कैब से लेंगे जी। हाँ 500 एक साइड 5 to 7 जी। हाँ ठीक है सर।
चेक हेलो हेलो चेक बंद कर दिया बंद कर दिया चेक हेलो हेलो चेक चेक हेलो हेलो चेक चेक हेलो चेक 1 2 1 2 3 4 हेलो चेक ठीक है हेलो चेक चेक हेलो चेक चेक हेलो चेक चेक 1 2 1 2 3 4 हेलो चेक चेक हेलो चेक चेक 1 ठीक है
तो ये एक बार चेक करेगा सर, कह रहा सही आ रहा, क्लियर आ रहा सर। फेसबुक चेक करो सर, क्लियर आ रहा। लाइट उनको मैंने ही फोन किया
इतना टाइम
अब वहाँ से हटेगा तो
एक मिनट रुक जाओ विवेक
वैज्ञानिकों ने, हमारे उद्यमियों की ताकत का ही ये परिणाम है कि भारत को वैक्सीन के लिए किसी और देश पर हमें निर्भर नहीं होना पड़ा।
हम रुके कहीं, ना हम डिगे कहीं, ना हम रुके कहीं, ना हम डिगे कहीं, शत्रु हो कोई भी हम झुके नहीं। दुश्मन के शस्त्र जो हो हजार, शतकोटि कवच से हम तैयार। मेरे भारत का ये विश्वास है, सबका साथ सबका प्रयास है। भारत का टीकाकरण दिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है। शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। जो दे रहे 100 करोड़ को जीवन, उन हाथों को शत शत नमन। इस युद्ध में जो लड़ रहा वो हर सिपाही खास है। शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। इस रणभूमि के सारथी पर मेरे देश को विश्वास है, सबका साथ सबका प्रयास है। भारत का टीकाकरण दिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है। शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है।
100 करोड़ वैक्सीनेशन के साथ आज भारत दिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है। ये हमारा शतकोटि गर्व का एहसास है।
जो पहले बफर होता है रीस्टार्ट की
यही मेरा घर है, मेरी जन्मभूमि, यही मेरा मंदिर, मेरी कर्मभूमि। यही मेरा घर है, मेरी जन्मभूमि, यही मेरा मंदिर, मेरी कर्मभूमि, यही मेरी हिम्मत, मेरा हौसला है। हमें नाज है हिंद पर, हम यहाँ हैं। हमें नाज है हिंद पर, हम यहाँ हैं। यहाँ जब भी दुख ने बसेरा किया, बुरी ताकतों ने अंधेरा किया, गलत तक से हम चांदनी तोड़ लाए, सितारों से हम रोशनी जोड़ लाए, उसी रोशनी से सवेरा किया है। हमें नाज है हिंद पर, हम यहाँ हैं। हमें नाज है हिंद पर, हम यहाँ हैं। अब आंखों में सपने नए गूंजते हैं, हमारी राधे गगन को चूमते हैं। युग सुनहरा लौट के आ रहा है। हमें नाज है हिंद पर, हम यहाँ हैं। हमें नाज है हिंद पर हम यहाँ हैं, हमें नाज है हिंद पर हम यहाँ हैं, हमें नाज है हिंद पर हम यहाँ हैं।
हम देशवासियों ने, हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने, हमारे उद्यमियों की ताकत का ही ये परिणाम है कि भारत को वैक्सीन के लिए किसी और देश पर हमें निर्भर नहीं होना पड़ा।
हम रुके कहीं, ना हम डिगे कहीं, ना हम रुके कहीं, ना हम डिगे कहीं, शत्रु हो कोई भी हम झुके नहीं। दुश्मन के शस्त्र जो हो हजार, शतकोटि कवच से हम तैयार। मेरे भारत का ये विश्वास है, सबका साथ, सबका प्रयास है। भारत का टीकाकरण दिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है, शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। जो दे रहे 100 करोड़ को जीवन, उन हाथों को शत शत नमन। इस युद्ध में जो लड़ रहा वो हर सिपाही खास है, शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। इस रणभूमि के सारथी पर मेरे देश को विश्वास है, सबका साथ, सबका प्रयास है। भारत का टीकाकरण दिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है, शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है। शतकोटि गर्व एहसास है, ये एक नया इतिहास है, इतिहास है।
100 करोड़ वैक्सीनेशन के साथ आज भारत लिख रहा एक नया इतिहास है। ये हमारा शतकोटि गर्व का एहसास है।
यही मेरा घर है, मेरी जन्मभूमि, यही मेरा मंदिर, मेरी कर्मभूमि। यही मेरा घर है, मेरी जन्मभूमि, यही मेरा मंदिर, मेरी कर्मभूमि, यही मेरी
एक कैम टू गेस्ट, हाँ एक जैसे सर के आ रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा लेफ्ट राइट कैमरा एक जैसे सर के साथ ये जो आके बैठे हैं, प्रॉब्लम
हेलो,
डिवाइड कर लिया ना।
मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये क्या कहते हैं
Set, I extend a very warm welcome to our Honorable Finance Minister, who found time from her extremely hectic schedule to shower her blessings on us. We are so fortunate, ma'am, that you always treat us like members of your family and provide us rock solid support and encouragement in all our endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. With a great pleasure, I welcome my mentor and guide, a person with innumerable qualities, Dr. T.V. Somanathan, the Finance Secretary, and Mrs. Somanathan. Sir, it's for sure that without your support, this book would not have been possible. It's an honor for me to welcome Dr. Vinod Paul, Member Niti Aayog, Amarjit Sinha sir, our course director in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy and our first guru in the service, Ajay Tirke sir, Secretary Land Resources, and all other dignitaries who are present here today. I also welcome all the friends, including friends from the media, who have made this day so memorable by their gracious presence. Having been trained as a veterinary doctor, I have always been interested in anything that's health. My interest in health soared when I served as director in the Ministry of Health, which also motivated me to pursue a doctorate in public health. And ever since I joined the finance ministry, the subject of economy and finance turned out to be engrossing and fascinating for me. My book on vaccines exactly combines these two subjects. As you all know, under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, India has seen major growth in numerous sectors in the last few years, and vaccines are definitely among them. In the thick of the challenging COVID-19 pandemic, when the world was in a flux, with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister and able support of our Finance Minister, India's vaccine economy took giant steps to grow exponentially. The heroes that led this growth were homegrown vaccines, which were developed at breakneck speed for not only the domestic population, but also the global population reeling under the duress of the pandemic. This has also proved to be a major pillar of India's diplomacy. The flurry of events surrounding vaccines in the last 2 years got me hooked on the subject. I got into researching and reading about it out of sheer interest initially. And the more I started delving into the subject, the more I came across unheard stories of how vaccines evolved in India and around the world. The stories on the development of vaccines in India was especially fascinating for me. Moreover, how COVID-19 evolved and how we handled COVID-19 pandemic through vaccination was a great learning experience. I felt a strong need to collect and document these stories and the heroic efforts so that India and the world can learn about India's vaccine growth story from the era of tikadars, who in ancient times used to visit house to house to inoculate people against smallpox, and to now when India has achieved vaccine supremacy in the world. This book is a tribute to our scientists, doctors, entrepreneurs, and health workers who have sacrificed their lives, faced bullets and bombs to make vaccines and vaccination successful. I am confident that you will find these stories as interesting as I did and get drawn into the various aspects of vaccines like I did. I again take this opportunity to express deep gratitude to our Honorable Finance Minister, our Finance Secretary, all the other dignitaries who are present here today. I also thank my friends, my family, my papa who is present here, my wife Sunita, daughter Sia, and my son Karan. Without you, I would not have seen this momentous day. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Sajjan Singh Yadav ji. May I now request Finance Secretary and Secretary Expenditure, Dr. T.V. Somanathan ji, to kindly address us.
Honorable Finance Minister, Dr. Paul, Mr. Amajit Sinha, Mr. Ajay Tirki, other dignitaries, friends from the media, others who are friends of Sajjan or interested in the topic of vaccines. It's a pleasure for me to be here. It is, it's a matter of pride for me that the person who works with me has come out with such a valuable and useful book. So India has a long tradition of scholar civil servants. It dates back to the days of the Indian Civil Service and has continued into the days of the Indian Administrative Service and the central services. So for example, the late Sanjeevi Guhan was considered probably the best development economist in India between 1970 and 1990. And Airavatam Mahadevan is probably the best epigraphist that India has produced, and both were actually civil servants. So I think Dr. Sajjan Yadav has joined that band of scholar civil servants, and I'm very happy to be part of that achievement. So the author has a doctorate in public health and is also a civil servant. So he had, in this case, the unique ability to look at this issue both from the scientific point of view, in terms of how vaccines developed, how they have been further developed into commercially and administratively viable treatments, but also the public administration part of running a vaccine program, especially on the kind of scale that we have seen in India, which is completely unprecedented in this time frame. So inoculating so many people in such a short time is totally unprecedented. So he had that dual perspective. I must also say here that he has written this book with a certain amount of feeling, because he, I know, suffered a personal loss. His sister was actually a victim of COVID during the second wave, if I'm not mistaken. This book is written in a very lucid and non-technical style, and it's full of interesting anecdotes. So we have all heard of Edward Jenner, but not many of us have heard about Elizabeth Jesty, who you should buy and read the book to find out who she was. But there's a lot in this book about kings, queens, and Brahmins, doctors, farmers, and cows, criminals, orphans, and princesses, and I'm not exaggerating. In fact, I'll just give you just to tell you what, it has a section which is entitled Preserving the Beauty Quotient of Imperial Harems, is also a section in this book. So he has succeeded in making this very dry subject interesting to the lay reader without sacrificing the integrity of the professional content. So I'm sure this book will interest both the general reader and the public health specialist, as well as the public administration specialist. So if you have not bought it, I suggest that you do so. So I want to wish the book and the author every success, and it's a matter of great pleasure for me to see him and his family on this occasion. Thank you.
थैंक यू सर. अब हमारा विनम्र निवेदन है माननीय वित्त मंत्री महोदया श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी से कि कृपया इंडियाज़ वैक्सीन ग्रोथ स्टोरी फ्रॉम काउपॉक्स टू वैक्सीन मैत्री पुस्तक को अपने कर कमलों द्वारा लॉन्च करें. And as this is an international launch, we are connected with various locations in the world. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय, और बहुत बहुत बधाई डॉक्टर सज्जन सिंह यादव जी को और उनके परिवार को. इस बार 15 अगस्त को माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने महिला सशक्तिकरण पर बहुत जोर दिया था. माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी, आप खुद महिला सशक्तिकरण की एक जीवंत मिसाल हैं. Under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and with your inspiring dedication, Madam, during pandemic when the entire world was facing recession, India has emerged as the world's fastest growing large economy. जनता के प्रति आपकी निष्ठा ने भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था को सेवा और गरीब कल्याण से जोड़ा. May I request you, Madam, to kindly address us? एक बार जोरदार तालियां माननीय मंत्री महोदया के लिए.
Good afternoon to all of you, to all the invited dignitaries, the author and his family, and also quite a few of them who are joining us online, and the media. I thank you one and all for being here. And before I talk about the author and the book, introductions are always a difficult and sometimes clumsy affair. I thank the anchor of this program for saying whatever she said of me, but I think she's taken Mahila Sashakti-karan to some level herself. Anyone who listens to her commentaries, and I for one never miss it in the Red Fort, and with whoever I stand, I always say, who writes her scripts? How does she practice? She brings in life into every line, and she's now become a standard of her own. Nobody can reach her. And I have a great weakness, which I don't mind saying it any number of times. Gosh, if there is one Janma for me ever, I love to speak Hindi like her. Amazing she is, just so amazing, impressive. She puts life into every one of the sentences. So, Mahila Sashakti-karan to you too, ma'am. I'll start with a note of apology to Sajjan Yadav. He had asked me to come and do this quite some time ago. I didn't want to join in before reading the book, and you know, therefore, the pace at which I read it, and as a result of which I had to delay it. But I tell you, it's just so fascinating on so many different counts. To be able to write on a topic like this, like the way Finance Secretary mentioned, who's going to be interested in vaccination? Neither to have it nor to read about it. But no, he's written it so well. A very fluid way of writing. And therefore, I think all kudos to him for this writing ability. Of course, his area of study has been public health, and in no lesser an institute, but Institute of Tropical Medicine. I've been there, I've literally visited the place as an outsider to see what exactly could tropical medicine, located as it is in London, can do for those peculiar tropical illnesses which affect all of us. So I know the worth of that place, and to have done his PhD there itself gives him that much more, brownie points. But for him to have kept his interest sustained and to be able to relate to something which is contemporary and that which has not missed any one Indian citizen or anybody in the globe, I think there's no one else left in this world, either who's not affected himself or herself, or somebody who's affected in his near and dear circles. So this is a topic which is going to have a resonance in so many of us, and therefore he's written on something which is so really contemporary and relevant to all of us, and used this area of specialization to be able to write about it, and write so well that it doesn't sound like a Lancet magazine article, but it does sound like a everyman's book for knowing on what is India's achievement in vaccination. Over the decades, India has of course made remarkable contribution. Nearly 60% of all the vaccines which are used in the world are produced in India. Therefore, India has a singular contribution to make to the world in terms of vaccination and that which is being produced and supplied to the entire world. And that is there in our DNA is something which Sajjan has very beautifully explained in the book, because even traditionally, in old-fashioned days, when people affected with any kind of pox used to be kept in isolation, no one could go near them. I remember there are symbolically some things which are kept at the entrance of the house, a cluster of neem patta, and you don't go there kind of. Even in that era, there were people who he calls as tikadars. I don't know what name prevailed in the south, but this practice existed, that you would go collect it, dry it up in the sun, and very risky that is, but people knew how to do it. And those experts made sure that that would be offered and given to people, particularly to children, so that they can face the pox the next year better. He's narrated it all so lucidly. So it tells you of modern day achievement. It tells you how India's DNA has this, temperament to be able to build something, to bring in immunity into public life, into citizens, and the way in which it has progressed today, to the extent that we could produce a vaccine during the COVID lockdown period, and that vaccine which has saved so many of our lives. And today we are very clearly double dosing every citizen. It is not easy, both to produce, to also execute it at that scale. So all that is captured in his book. But one thing I want to add here, it's one thing for bureaucrats who get into different departments in different times of their career, but it is a totally different thing for you to sustain the interest of the area in which you've specialized, you've done your doctorate, and be able to, get into further research, write about it, carve out time, beautiful time management, and be able to write like this. On that, I give him special credit for having sustained this interest. But I also know, I think the blurb in the book also would say that, earlier for his very distinct performance in the census area, he's been awarded the Presidential Medal or Presidential Commiserations Appreciation. So he was there doing the census activity, and it was so noteworthy. He was acknowledged by the President of India. The point that I'm wanting to place before you by bringing that example is, wherever you are, whatever role you are given, if you get involved in it fully and be into it fully, mindfully, and perform, you're sure to succeed and get noticed. Sajjan Yadav is repeatedly doing that in every position that he's been, and I wouldn't be surprised even in expenditure with a tough boss like Somanathan, he's doing very well. He's contributing well. So I think Sajjan is made of that stuff, which in a way for all of us gives a little philosophical message that you're there, like I would like to believe, I believe that myself. You're wherever you are only as a nimitta. You've been put there. Even if you choose to be somewhere, if you're not destined, you're not going to be there. And even if you choose not to want to be somewhere, if you're destined, nothing can escape. You will have to be there. But once there, if you're able to do your fullest best, give your maximum, you may have ups and downs, but the moment you do that mindful work, you're sure to succeed, sure to get noticed. And I see that even now in his contribution in expenditure, in the various things, reformatory things that Department of Expenditure undertakes. So that trait in him is something which I like every bureaucrat to look up to, as much as possible, something which you can emulate. Each one of you all, I'm sure, have your own qualities. The day when you release the book, and somebody would definitely point it out to you. But it's a great quality to be where you are, to do your best, and also to carve out time to pursue the area of interest that you have and bring out something so that our immediate environment, neighborhood, society, people who have inclination for such a thing can benefit from it. Congratulations, Sajjan Yadav. And also congratulations to his entire family, to have a bureaucrat who should be coming home and saying, I've had a horrible day today, all right, now leave me alone. His horrible day or good day at work, he goes back, carves some time out and be able to write about it. And above all, I congratulate the publishers for having taken interest in the topic and being able to, get going with publishing something which is so contemporaneous and which is so relevant for all of us. So thank you for having me here, but I think it gives a lot of motivation for all of us that there are people around us who have that bent of mind to write, and write so well, and write on subjects which will be of interest to people, and in that Sajjan has done very well. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय, आपके प्रेरणादायी शब्दों के लिए और उत्साहवर्धन के लिए और पर्ल्स ऑफ विस्डम के लिए जो आपने हम सबको यहाँ संबोधित किया। और अब मैं करण यादव से निवेदन करती हूँ कि वो आभार प्रकट करें। काइंडली प्रपोज वर्ड्स ऑफ थैंक्स।
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great privilege for me to thank all the dignitaries and guests who are present here for this event today. First and foremost, I want to thank our Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, for finding time from her extremely busy schedule to bless and encourage us. We are grateful to Dr. T.V. Somanathan, Finance Secretary, for his gracious presence. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Vinod Paul, Sri Amarjeet Sinha, and Ajay Turkey sir. We owe a debt of gratitude to our friends from the media for covering this event today. We are delighted to have such a wonderful international launch of India's vaccine growth story. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद। थैंक यू ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर। हम हृदय से आभारी हैं माननीय वित्त मंत्री महोदया आपके कि व्यस्ततम रूटीन में से भी आपने अपना वक्त निकाला और यहाँ पर आप उपस्थित हुई और शुभकामनाएं दी। हम आभारी हैं रिस्पेक्टेड फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर टी.वी. सोमनाथन जी के कि वे भी यहाँ पर पधारे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। एंड थैंक यू ऑल फॉर योर एस्टीम्ड प्रेजेंस। धन्यवाद मैडम, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। नमस्कार। आप सभी कुछ देर रुक जाएं, उसके बाद आप सभी चाय पर ज़रूर पधारिएगा। आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू काइंडली जॉइन अस फॉर अ कप ऑफ टी। आप सभी चाय पर सादर आमंत्रित हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।